I woke up to silence that felt wrong. My back was on fire. My throat was dry. And my phone wouldn't stop vibrating. 73 missed calls. All from my parents. A nurse leaned in and whispered, "You were out for 9 hours. Spinal surgery went well." I nodded, still half gone, when a voicemail started playing. My mother's voice was shaking. "Holly, please call us." We had no choice. No choice for what? That's when I saw the bank alert. Property transfer completed. My $425,000 condo. Gone. Sold while I was unconscious. My signature forged. To pay for my sister's dream wedding. I stared at the ceiling, tears sliding into my ears, and all I could think was, they finally did it. And that's where my story truly began. Before I share this chapter of my life, if you've ever felt ignored, unheard, or underestimated, then this channel is for you. Subscribe to Jossy Revenge, where every story has a heartbeat. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. I didn't scream. I didn't cry at first either. I just lay there in that hospital bed, staring at the pale ceiling tiles, listening to the slow beep of the monitor beside me, trying to understand how my life had shifted while I was unconscious. 9 hours. That's all it took. My spine had been cut open, screws placed, nerves delicately adjusted so I could walk without pain again. While doctors were saving my future, my parents were selling it. When the nurse left, I slowly picked up my phone again. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. I replayed the voicemail, this time forcing myself to listen to every word. "Holly, sweetheart, we had to make a hard decision. Megan's wedding deposits were non-refundable. Your father's job is on the line. We knew you'd understand. Call us. Please. Understand." That word hit harder than the surgery pain. Because my whole life, I was the one who was supposed to understand. Growing up, it was always Megan first. Megan's dance lessons. Megan's photography equipment. Megan's influencer brand deals that never paid but somehow always needed funding. I was the quiet one. The responsible one. The one who worked 2 jobs in college and paid my own tuition without complaining. When I bought my condo at 29, with money I saved from years of consulting work and sleepless nights, my parents barely celebrated. My mom hugged me, distracted. My dad said, "That's great, honey," then asked if I could help Megan with rent that month. Still, I never imagined they'd cross this line. I called my lawyer before I called anyone else. My voice was weak, but my mind was clear in a way it had never been before. "Someone sold my property while I was in surgery," I said. "I didn't sign anything." There was a pause on the other end. "Then we're dealing with fraud," he replied calmly. "And that's serious." Fraud. The word felt heavy, and strangely grounding. Over the next 2 days in recovery, everything unraveled piece by piece. The forged power of attorney. The rushed sale. The money wired directly into an account my parents controlled. Every detail felt like another cut, deeper than the last. They came to visit on day 3. My mother cried the moment she saw me. Loud, dramatic sobs that made the nurses uncomfortable. My father stood stiffly behind her, eyes darting around the room like he was afraid someone might overhear. "We did it for family," my mother said, gripping my hand too tightly. "You're strong. You'll bounce back. Megan only gets one wedding." I looked at them and felt something unexpected. Nothing. No anger. No heartbreak. Just clarity. What if I had died? I asked quietly. They didn't answer. That silence told me everything. When they left, I stared out the window at the parking lot below and finally allowed myself one deep, shaking breath. That was the moment I stopped trying to earn their love. That was the moment something old inside me broke, and something stronger took its place. What they didn't know, what no one in my family knew, was that this wasn't the first time I'd had to clean up their mess. 5 years earlier, my parents had nearly lost their house. Foreclosure notices. Late-night arguments. Calls they thought I couldn't hear. I didn't confront them. I didn't lecture them. I fixed it. Quietly. Through an LLC and a private sale, I bought their debt. I became their anonymous landlord. They thought a kind investor had saved them. That investor was me. And now, sitting in that hospital bed, I realized something almost poetic. They thought they'd taken everything from me. But they had no idea who they were dealing with. I made one phone call after they left. "Aunt Patricia," I said, my voice steady now. "Are you still planning to attend the wedding?" She laughed softly. "Front row." "Why?" "Good," I replied. "You might want a good seat." Because while Megan was busy picking centerpieces and practicing her vows, I was preparing the truth. And I wasn't going to whisper it. I was going to let it echo. The weeks leading up to the wedding moved in slow motion for me. My body was healing faster than my heart, but pain has a way of sharpening your focus. While physical therapy stretched my mornings and medication blurred my nights, my mind stayed crystal clear. Every step my parents took toward that wedding felt like a countdown to something they couldn't see coming. They called every day. Sometimes apologetic. Sometimes defensive. Sometimes angry, like I had inconvenienced them by waking up. "You're being dramatic," my father snapped during one call. "You'll get another place. Megan needs this moment." That was the moment I stopped answering. Instead, I met with my lawyer. We spread documents across a long glass table: property transfers, bank records, the forged power of attorney. Every page told the same story: intent. Not desperation. Not confusion. A plan. "This won't just undo the sale," my lawyer said. "This could cost your father his position." I nodded slowly. "I know. Are you sure you want to proceed?" I thought about the nights I cried quietly so Megan wouldn't hear. The birthdays forgotten. The achievements brushed aside. "Yes," I said. "I'm sure." That afternoon, Aunt Patricia came over with takeout and that familiar look she always had, the one that said she already knew the truth before anyone said it out loud. "I always wondered when they'd push you too far," she said gently. I smiled, tired but honest. So did I. She was the only one in the family who never treated me like an extra. She listened as I told her everything, about the surgery, the condo, the forged documents. When I finally told her about the house, their house, her eyes widened. "You're telling me," she said slowly, "you own the roof over their heads?" "I've owned it for 5 years." She leaned back, shaking her head. "Lord have mercy." We planned quietly. Carefully. No drama. No threats. Just truth, delivered at the right time, in the right place. The wedding venue was a historic estate just outside the city. White columns. Manicured lawns. A place designed for pictures and appearances. Megan had posted countdowns every day, 7 days till forever, manifesting fairy tale energy, all paid for with money stolen from my hospital bed. Watching it all unfold online felt surreal. Have you ever watched people celebrate with something that was taken from you? It changes you. The night before the wedding, my mother called again. Her voice was softer this time, almost sweet. "Holly, sweetheart, your father and I were hoping you'd attend. It would mean the world to Megan." I let the silence stretch. "I'll be there," I said finally. She exhaled in relief. "I knew you'd come around." I hung up without correcting her. The morning of the wedding, I stood in front of my mirror, adjusting a simple navy dress. No designer label. No flashy jewelry. Just me, stronger than I'd ever been. As I walked into the venue, heads turned. Whispers followed. "Holly made it. I heard she was sick. Did you hear about the condo?" My parents spotted me immediately. My mother rushed over, hugging me like we were close again. My father nodded stiffly, avoiding my eyes. Megan floated toward me in white, glowing, her smile wide and practiced. "You came," she squealed. "I knew you would." I smiled back. Calm. Controlled. Wouldn't miss it. The ceremony was beautiful. I'll give her that. Soft music. Vows that sounded sincere enough to fool everyone but me. Daniel, her groom, looked genuinely in love. That part almost made me sad. Almost. At the reception, glasses clinked. Laughter filled the room. The father-daughter dance brought tears. My parents beamed, soaking in praise, pretending nothing was wrong. Then the microphone was passed around for speeches. My mother spoke first. About sacrifice. About family. About how everything we do is for our children. I felt my jaw tighten. Then Megan spoke. She thanked her parents for making everything possible. She thanked her friends. She thanked God. She didn't thank me. Finally, the MC smiled and said, "And now, a surprise message from the bride's sister." 200 faces turned toward me. I stood. For a split second, my mother's smile faltered. My father's face went pale. I took the microphone. "My name is Holly," I began. "And I had spinal surgery 3 weeks ago." A murmur rippled through the room. "I was unconscious for 9 hours," I continued, my voice steady. "During that time, my parents sold my home." Gasps. Not theirs. Mine. A $425,000 condo. Using a forged power of attorney. My mother stood abruptly. "Holly, stop." I raised my hand. "My lawyer is here tonight," I said, gesturing. "So is the documentation." Daniel's smile disappeared. Megan's face drained of color. "There's more," I added, my heart pounding but my voice calm. 5 years ago, my parents nearly lost their house. An anonymous buyer saved them. I paused. That buyer was me. The room went silent. I am their landlord. Their lease expires in 30 days. My lawyer stepped forward, confirming every word. Daniel turned to Megan slowly. "Is this true?" She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. No sound came out. The truth didn't explode. It settled. Heavy. Final. I handed the microphone back, my hands no longer shaking. As I walked out, I didn't look back. Some endings don't need applause. The fallout didn't happen all at once. It came in waves. By the time I reached my car, my phone was already buzzing. Texts, missed calls, voicemails stacking on top of each other like they could bury what had just happened. I didn't answer any of them. I drove home slowly, windows down, letting the night air cool the heat in my chest. For the first time since the surgery, since the betrayal, I felt light. Not happy. Not victorious. Just free. The next morning, my lawyer called. "Megan's marriage has been annulled," he said plainly. "Daniel claims fraud. The wedding funds are being investigated." I closed my eyes. Daniel had learned the truth the hard way, that his fairy tale was built on theft. I felt sorry for him. He hadn't known. But consequences don't disappear just because intentions were clean. By Monday, everything unraveled. My father was placed on administrative leave pending investigation. Forged documents don't sit well in corporate offices. My mother's social circle went quiet, luncheons cancelled, invitations withdrawn, whispers replacing smiles. And Megan? Her online world collapsed overnight. Sponsors dropped her. Comments flooded her pages, screenshots, questions, anger. The story spread faster than she ever had. The same internet she loved turned cold and unforgiving. She came to see me 3 days later. No makeup. No ring. No audience. She sat across from me in my living room, arms folded tight around herself. "You humiliated me," she said, voice shaking. I studied her face, the same face that always got sympathy first. "You stole from me," I replied calmly. Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't ask them to." "But you accepted it," I interrupted. "You knew where the money came from. And you stayed quiet." Silence stretched between us. "What would you have done?" she whispered. "If you were me?" I thought about that. Then I said the truth. I would have stopped it. She left without another word. 30 days later, my parents' lease expired. The eviction was clean. Legal. Quiet. No shouting. No revenge speeches. Just paperwork and consequences. They moved into a small apartment across town. My mother didn't call again. My father sent one email, short, formal, apologetic in a way that felt too late. I didn't respond. Instead, I turned that house into something new. The rental income went into a small foundation, one that helps women who've experienced financial abuse rebuild their lives. Legal help. Emergency housing. Counseling. I bought myself a new place too. Smaller. Brighter. Mine in every sense of the word. Sometimes, late at night, I still think about the family I thought I had. The love I kept trying to earn. The silence I confused for peace. But I also think about the woman I became when I stopped begging for fairness and started choosing myself. And that's the real ending. Not revenge. Growth. Moral of the story. Some betrayals don't come from enemies. They come from the people who taught you the word family. I learned that love without boundaries is not love, it's sacrifice without respect. And no matter how close someone is to you, they don't get to destroy your future to build their own. Walking away wasn't easy. But staying would have cost me everything. If my story touched you, hit that subscribe button for more emotional tales from Jossy Revenge. And even if it didn't? Come on, subscribe anyway, I'll win you over next time. Drop a comment, like the video, and let's keep the stories alive. Thanks for watching.